Hey guys, how's it going? Aaron here. Today I just wanted to do a quick video. I had a student of mine recently who wanted some pointers on modifying one of his characters, just giving him a little more of a kind of outfit costume change just to set it apart and give it a little more context for a shot that he's doing. So I wanted to give just a quick demo of a couple ways you can go about making some modifications to a rig that are pretty quick and easy in terms of just giving some basic costuming and ways that you can also affix a prop to your character's outfit in a way that still gives you control over it, but can let you again modify the look of them for if you're trying to do a specific type of scene or just give a little more context to your shot. So I've got the George Stevens rig here from iAnimate. And the first thing I got to do is make sure that his geometry is selectable. Sometimes this is locked on an attribute of the rig. In this rig, I think the default they have it actually the geometry locked on a just on a reference layer. So you just want to find out what you have to do to be able to select the geometry of the character. For this example, we're just going to make a simple vest for our character. So what I'm going to do, in most cases, some cases you might have an actual prop, some suspenders or something. Maybe you downloaded something for Turbo Squid or modeling something from scratch that you're going to use as their outfit. But I like to for this method I'm going to show today, I like to start by actually duplicating the existing geometry, and there's a couple reasons for that. But the way we're going to fix this later, having a similar topology, a similar layout to what's on your underlying character is actually going to help for deformations. So you want edge loops and things in similar places. It's going to make it a lot cleaner. But that's not always 100% necessary. But for the sake of this demo, we're going to start by just selecting and duplicating this geometry. I'm going to hit Shift I to isolate selected, or you can also go under Show, Isolate Selected. Just so we have just this to look at to start out. I like to turn on wireframe on shaded just so I can see where my actual edge loops are as I do this next step, but it just makes it a little cleaner for me. So for this example, we're just going to make like a vest for this character to be wearing. So I just want to go in here and basically blow away all the faces that aren't going to be part of that vest. So we'll like give him like open down the center. That's just kind of quick, sloppy. Obviously, you could spend more time on this. Let's maybe just like flatten that bit out a bit, right? And I'm no modeler by a long shot, so this is again just quick, sloppy stuff for the example. We could just kind of flatten that, bring it in, and then let's just blow these arms away. So yeah, just kind of like an open sleeves on the side of the vest. So obviously there's a host of ways you can go about selecting and blowing these faces away, but I'm just gonna blow those out. Probably to there. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. Did I miss a loop? We'll call that good. You get the point. So now what I'm going to do, if you look over here in the channel box, you'll notice that this is still locked because this is from skin geometry that we copied it from. So what I'm going to want to do is actually just right click those channels, unlock selected. I like to go to modify and center my pivot point here, and then just to be clean, it's good to just go to edit and delete by type history. So I've just got a clean piece of geometry here. So let's also, I'm just gonna pop over my hypershade and just drop a different material on this just so we'll be able to see the color difference. So if I go back here and turn my original guy back on, you'll see right now we have coplanar geometry, meaning that this geometry is in the exact same place since we duplicated it. So I'm just gonna scale this out just a bit, right? So we get a little bit of separation there, you know. Because I moved these points in, I actually need to bring them out some, but you can go in from here, you know, and do some additional modeling to get the line you're after, right? So I can just bring these points out on both sides of that. Yeah, something like that. Let me just make it a touch bigger. Yeah, so you get the point. So now he has his little vest. So what I'm going to do now to affix this to my rig, because this is already rig geo, but we've detached this now. I'm going to use Maya's wrap deformer to attach it, and this is why it's important for him to have pretty similar topology to the underlying geo, because you'll get really clean deformations, because the edge loops, again, if I turn this on, they're in the same place. It's got the same count of edge loops, and they're more or less in the same place, so your deformations shouldn't be a problem at all in most cases. So I'm going to select this geometry and then select his body's geometry, and I'm under my animation panel here, so I can go to this is my 2016 I'm using for this demo, so depending on what version, you might have to drop down, see your full deformer menu. But I select the vest and then his body and hit the wrap deformer. And now if I turn my rig back on, right, you see that I'm getting this to deform with it. Usually pretty good if you're not doing anything drastic. These parts where I did change a lot of points in the middle might be a little more problematic, where I straightened out those things, but for the most part you see I'm getting kind of okay deformations in terms of getting him in another costume. You might just have to adjust or kind of fix the weighting on some points as needed. But so that's one way you can, if you're just doing something like a vest or a belt or some suspenders or something like that, but don't want to do a texture map, you want actual geometry. That's one quick way to do that. And then another thing I wanted to show, I've made him like this little sheriff's badge, right? Or maybe affixed to his vest. So how I would go about doing something like that, if you have a prop turbo squid or something, I like to use there's many ways to do everything in Maya, but for this I like to use a rivet. I think in later versions of Maya this might be included. If not, it's a simple little mail script you could find online. But basically you just select two edges, and down in my line here I'll just type rivet, R-I-V-E-T, and you can't see it right now because I don't have my locators showing. But if I turn on locators, what that's done is it's created a locator that's constrained to the normal between those two edges. So basically it's just pointing perpendicularly out of the face that I selected, and it just follows along with that geometry. And the nice thing about this is even if the geometry is deforming, it's still going to stay perfectly pointing out of that normal. So this is good now to attach things to. It's easy to constrain stuff to this. So I've got this little badge here, but what I want to do for this actually is group it first. I'm going to call this badge group, and then under modify, I'm just going to center my pivot of the group. So let me open my outliner here and show you that. So what I've got here is my rivet locator, you see here, and then my badge group. Let me position this, just say we want it somewhere like that. And now I'm going to select my rivet, and then control select my badge group, and just do a parent constraint with maintain offset on, and all the defaults are fine. So now his badge follows along. but because I grouped it, I still have my constraint is on the group level. And if you watch my constraint video, you see me kind of describe this process. But because the constraint is on the group level, I could still select my actual badge, and it has unlocked, all the channels are unlocked, so I can if I need to tweak this a little bit, say I want some secondary, if I'm attaching like a gun holster or something, and I want to still be able to animate this, I can still do that and set keys on this and freely move that around. If he's doing some extreme thing and this gets a penetration through the geometry, and I just need to move it out a little bit or something like that, I still have that freedom to do that to the badge, because I've constrained the group and not the actual prop itself. So yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. That's just a few ways that you can add a little bit of panache to your characters to make them a little bit different. Sometimes it's nice to set them apart. Everyone's got the same rigs on their reels, or if you're trying to do something to specifically help the context of your scene, and place your character into the environment or something a little better. Those are a couple quick tricks that can help you do that. So hopefully you find that helpful, and if so, be sure to follow and share it with a friend. Take care.